Welcome back, Michael Wickerson, Wickerson Studios, continuing with the Python All-in-One for Dummies. We're into chapter 1 of book 2, where we're going to focus on working with numbers, text, and dates. And the way I've set up this chapter is I've left this kind of red area on all the warning when it gets around to manipulating strings, using methods. The reason being that Python 3.0 is so different from Python 2.0 in this that you probably are not going to be using this in Grasshopper 1. Now, I'm interested in seeing what in Grasshopper 2 I can actually take this to and what's been compiled to see what I would end up doing. A lot of this as well, dealing with strings, is not naturally how you would want to be thinking about numbers to drive parameters for Grasshopper and architecture, but it can be essential in things like masking and offsets and generating path mapper text as well. So I'm not sure how far I'm going to go into that. What I did was not only am I doing this in the Grasshopper campus environment when necessary and well relevant, I obviously am doing it within all of these formatting numbers scripts within the application that I'm building for Visual Studio Code, math functions, math text date, math formatting strings, and a lot of this ends up becoming text near the end, especially formatting strings, where I actually don't want to go in and show example after example, because those are things you don't need to memorize. You can access those online when you need them. But starting with the number one, it's nice. And I also put this all into a Jupyter notebook, which nobody's going to want to look through, but it's all testing it out as we continue through book 2, chapter 1, and then we'll slowly go into chapter 2 as well. So everything's getting pretty organized. I'm pretty excited about this as everything's gotten organized. But you choose whichever format you want to pull from. It is all up on my GitHub as well if you want to pull the whole solution and everything within here, and if you want to grab the Grasshopper files as well. So hopefully that makes a lot of sense. And as we trickle through, you'll see I'm kind of naming things. This is the number text dates. Not making a lot of it parametric, but once in a while, like in this one where I go into more math functions, I have applied it and made those functions parametric. In a sense that you actually, in Grasshopper, you start playing with different things. I'm going to leave that as the square root of 81 because it gives me even numbers. If you zoom in on one of these, you can actually get a little more finesse. It's a little trick that I picked up on. This one, formatting numbers, is a lot of information as to what you'd want to do, and there's example after example. And I did pull some in formatting and then also some formatting that's parametric as well. So those are available for you to open up and then see the Python script that's required to go into it. None of it is very complicated at all. And then I end with a little section on getting into the weirder things. So we're going to deal with binary, octal, and hexadecimal, which some people may find they're using in their life. And the last one for probably the electrical engineer, I'm not sure why you'd want to do it in Grasshopper, but for the deep math or something you want to do, you can get into the modules to deal with CMath, which complex numbers can be nice. And like I said, everything else after that, I did apply a little bit to Grasshopper because there is in sets this area of dealing with text, and it becomes more expansive in Grasshopper 2.0, the work in process, and I've made a few videos on that. But string operators, this was odd, so word and character. If you want to start playing with ASCII symbols. And that's really where I left off. And everything else after that, when it came to uncovering dates and times, if you're really getting into that scripting, you're probably going to stay within another environment than Grasshopper. But you can always do that because even the params go back to all of those things in case you want to use them in Grasshopper. So that said, that's pretty good to start, actually to finish Book 2, Chapter 1, and we can get on to some very interesting things now. I have it indicated here as the next page, which is going to be controlling the action. And we're going to really be able to jump in here with if statements, if else, elif statements. We're going to get into loops, breaking, continuing, and everything juicy before we jump into lists and tuples, and then further down the dictionary path. So very exciting as things get more and more complex. And once again, I've paired it with websites that are important. So this is the binary, ternary, and octal and hexadecimal converter. I put in the CMath module link. I also have a link to the Python string methods, the formatting string methods, and I pulled that because of this list, I think, farther down of examples, or maybe it's just Stack Overflow, which is all you really need. Time maps, databases that you might want to go to gather. I think this is the ORD. What's this one called? Olson database. Well, it should be in there somewhere, and this is the TZ databases. So that's more specific for somebody that really wants to dig deep into that. I think for Grasshopper, let's just keep moving. Let's deal with some of the scripts. And I hope to do this all with C# when I'm done as well. But I'm very excited about what we can do, which I've done before. How can we actually jump in here? And I think I have a few. It's always hard to see where I was. There's a lot of basic scripts that have already been written. But I think putting it in this form, it's not as chaotic. So thanks very much for watching. We're going to continue. I'm very excited about Chapter 2, Book 2, Chapter 2 of Python for Dummies, all in one, controlling the action. What can we do as main operators? Thanks for watching.